Well, good day, everyone. It's me, Engconn, along with, yep, you're going to know him pretty good. He's my little co-host and little luck charm Chibarashku, who's always by my side when I'm fishing and many other things. So today's video is quite important because we're going to be looking at the skills. And for the new players, this video is probably going to be one of the most important ones you're ever going to get from me. So what you need to do is you press your escape key and you can go into statistics or skills, but I prefer just to go into statistics because everything is here and because you're going to get the skills here anyway. So this is your personal information. So it shows you 13 in-game days, which means you've played 13 hours. So this is a good way to look at it, is when you got played. I've got now invested almost 1,300 real-time hours in this game. So I've been playing for a long time and still learning a lot of little things about it as well. The simulation is quite fun and deep at times. So gives you your XP points, your experience to the next ones, broken rods, which will happen, reels, which will happen, completed cafe orders. I did 9. That's why my silver is coming up. I have been, as you see, bought some of the supplies for crafting and stuff because the silver is important. Haven't played any competitions, and that's the thing about competition, guys. As I mentioned in, I think it was the first video, if you have a RF4 account from the website, you can participate in the competitions there. But if you have a Steam account rushing fishing for, you won't be able to participate, or vice versa if you hold a Steam account. So they're a little bit separate in that aspect. So it's something I recommend if you are making your decision and you want to be a competitive player and really enjoy, because they give out great prizes and things like that. You know, take your chances. You could be up to, I think it's a couple hundred people maximum, but they could have 50 or 100 people doing this. Depends all who registers. So that's another video and another time. Then your competitions. I've lost 3 fish, so of course you're not going to catch everything. I caught 213. I caught 3 trophies, which we'll look at them, and not all trophies will be on the card because one trophy I caught was a gibble in Winding River, and of course that trophy didn't go on the card, but it says that I caught at least 3 trophies. And in the game there's the rare blue tags, which, well, you get the name or and throw it back in the water for the next player to catch it, and if they catch it they see your name on the fish, and or, well, you can sell it for big silver and they'll put it back in, and that's it. It just gets caught another day by someone else. And then the record catch of the day. There is achievements in the game, which we'll look at that in a minute. And I caught 41 fish in one real-time day, which is or in-game day, which is 1 hour real time. So that's actually a pretty good record. And then my total weight, you'll get achievements for that. And then it shows you your information. I'm using spinning, and then the fish, that's the record catch. Float tackle catch, 2 kilogram mass. Without the fishing net, guys, you won't bring this in on a telly stick. So I tell you this right now, make sure you got that net. Go buy it. It's 27 odd silver, okay? And then the spinning tackle, and as well as the strongest contestant, most risky catch. And this was the biggest silver. This was the worm bait, Winding River, and this was my other trophy, which won't be recorded. So, and then you go to the trophy boards. On Mosquito Lake, there is pike in here as well, common carp. These are not on the board. So these are the ones you'll be kind of targeting eventually to try to fill your card, because you get an award and a badge and some little perk of some sort. You also got now the Winding River, because you can travel these 2 lakes plus the cottage for free. So I already got the bleak and the gudgeon, and it's coming along. So the hardest one will be to catch will probably be the crayfish and maybe the white bream. It's pretty hard to target in there. But the rest you'll probably get fairly easy. These by float fishing or dragging a jig or something. But anyhow, that works out. Then you got the achievements. They have this in Steam and as in the same as the standalone account, so you have all the same things. So I'm actually starting to fill it up a second time. There's 151, I think there is, and I've got already 1/3 of them, so that's good. The awards, well, I haven't got any awards even on my other account, but that will come. But most important, guys, skills. I'll tell you right now, I'm a level 10, exactly level 10. At level 10, you get 9 points. So, and you're going to get 1 point until you get to level 20. When you get level 20, you'll get 2 points. And 2 points till you get to level 29. You get to level 30, you're going to get 3 points. So 31, 3 points. And that's how they do it. But the first 15 levels, well, that's the easiest thing to do. So how it works is, as you're fishing, you're getting a little bit of improvements, because to open up these things, like example 25%, that means the longer you fish and the more you use your float tackle, this percentage is climbing by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, up, then it goes to 21, then 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, it goes to 22. So the longer you use it. Now, the ones that have the little breaking bars here is the amount that the more you use it, because as you see here, if you put a point in here, has example, which I'm not going to click it, because once you click it, it's committed. So be sure, if you want to go telescopic rod, that's why I had to make sure you decide what kind of fisherman you want to be, because it's very important where you allocate these points. So, and it shows you what it does, that you get distance and accuracy. That means you get to throw your float out a little bit more where you want it to go, instead of throwing it out there and taking a chance. So the more you put into it, control the fish, and things like that, casting and accuracy, it does pay off. Okay, so here it's quite important that you really need to decide. Now, the ones that don't have it, like the luminous float, anything that doesn't have a break in the silver means that it's an ability you get to use. So this means that once I get 25%, I'll be able to put a luminous float, which means it glows in the dark, which is really nice for at night. Then you'll open these. To open up, if you're going to go Bolognese, you need 30%, which the Bolognese is the telescopic reel with a reel that you can reel in. And also using the Bolognese rig. But now when you use the leader, you get this at 40%, means you can put a leader on your telly stick, which means now they can break and take the hook and not take your line and take all your float and everything else. They'll just take the hook. So float fishing, quite technical, and if you like it, great. I like float fishing, but only in rivers. My float's got to move. I'm a spin fisherman, bottom fisherman person. So in spin fishing, you'll see that in here, there's a lot more choices, a little bit more in depth of what I need. So the recommendation that I have for you all is, if you go float fishing and Bolognese, you go feeder fishing and the same thing, there's the spinning reel. I recommend that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Put all 5 in the spinning reel, because it will be applied to the float fishing. This will fill up as well. So it's accumulative and it stacks all across the board. So it's really important. And then we go to the bottom fishing, and it says spinning reel here. So if you basically 5 of these 9 points will be on all 3 of the skills, and you fill that out, that means that here you're going to have by the end 25% distance, casting distance with the spinning reel, which is really good, because sometimes you need to clip or cast pretty far to get into certain bodies of water for certain fish at certain depths. So it's kind of important that the further you can get out there, because as you level up and get higher, you get better and better and better. And I think now in my other account, I'm throwing now something like 45 meters now. That's pretty decent for casting. So that starts to really improve. So again, once you commit, once you click that, it's gone. So you do have the ability, it says, to redistribute points. Different skills are given, and you can get once free of charge. So right now I'm not throwing points, I'm fishing successfully. And I also recommend when you go to like bottom fishing, now if you're going to be a feeder fisherman, you got to think where you want to go to. So you're probably for sure going to put the spinning reel, and then you're probably going to go feeder rod. So you're going to have 7 in there. So the feeder rod gives you, again, control of the fish when you're fighting, a chance of not losing it, and hook quality and all kinds of stuff has a bearing. And of course, 35% accuracy is 10 more than the casting. So this here, because you got weight, you can really throw the feeder rods out there. So, and again, it's a little bit more technical. You see that there's, like, other than using the PVA stick here, everything else has bars in it. That means that you're going to be spending a lot of points if you're going to be this route of fishing. Only this one at the very end, you need 100%, which takes a long time to get there, just to open the skill. But these ones, you actually got to put points into it to get something out of it to achieve. Okay, so bottom fishing, quite technical. Spin fishing, like I said here, it's a bit too. Now, what I had done in my previous account, I had put points, like 2 points, because I fish with a spoon, a jig, a wobbler, and it's supposed to productive, diverse, and it tells you what they do, but it gives you a small opportunity to 1% chance or something to go towards catching a fish. So there's 1 or 2 points, a little small percentage. So I feel that in this account, I'm not going to be sinking my points into the lures and the baits. I'm really going to be putting points into the reels, the rods, and methods of fishing. So very important here, like jerk bait rod I need, low profile reels. I'd rather put my points. I'm not going to worry about sticking it into here. But the fishing style, like the three-way rig or the Carolina rig, which I love the most, I will put 3 in that. The fishing style, not so much in the lure. So that's one aspect I'm going to do in this, because this is my crafting account to show you guys how things will be working. I won't be putting points yet for probably a couple more levels until I start having trouble. Another most important thing is harvesting. And again, harvesting, if you put points in here, that means you get, better worms, and you get, more bait probability chance. It's like 3% more chance of getting the special worms, and or red worms, which is the, kind of the worm that can get you some big fish and a little bit of a surprise. So it's a little bit dangerous using these, but, it could be interesting. But then again, because there is no lines in here to break, once you open it, means I can make wet bread. The more I make, it gets my percentage up to make potato cubes. Now I make potato cubes, and I can go buy potatoes at Winding River along with the eggs. So then you make pearl barley. I need 20%. So I have a long way to go. So I got to make a lot of bread. So you got to buy bread from the grocery store, and to build the harvesting baits in order to open these, because if you're going to be a bottom feeder fisherman, this is the skill you need. Harvesting baits goes with bottom feeder fishing. Spin fishing is lures and jigs, rubber stuff, things like that. Cooking, well, cooking is important, which we'll get into that. So I can make dried fish, potato tea, which is the roaches, cocoa boils. So you get a really good start. So look at this list, guys. You can need to buy eggs, sausage on a stick, marshmallow, coffee, and tea. Notice they got tea here next. That's why I said buy the kettle. It's very important. If your comfort level's up, your energy comes up, because you can't dig for those worms, and when you take one dig, it takes all your energy. So coffee is preferred, but in low levels, it's usually out of stock, and you can only buy 10 at a time, which is around 200 silver approximately. So it gets a little expensive. Tea is pretty much available. If your comfort level's up, your energy will come up. Eat a little bit. And if you're eating quality food versus a carrot stick and a cucumber that they give you in the game, well, you have a really good chance on that. So it's a little bit in depth. Wouldn't worry about making lures right away, but certainly be thinking about the gear that you're going to go. Making ground bait, again, if you're going to be making the ground bait, you see it just opens up the skills. That means that the more things you can put together, it means you can put 2 things together, 3 things together. But look at this, to put 4 things together, you need 40%. You see, so you can start making some really great recipes and chemistry for your fishing. But then you're going to be putting 5 points in here. So if you can imagine, 5 points if you're going to be feeder fishermen, 5 points, or most people put about 3 at least to get a really good turnout, because you have a percentage of quality which goes from 1 to 10. If you're going to be making quality 3, your fishing is not so successful as if you make a quality 8, 9, or 10. If you make a 10-10, well, your fishing bite rate, everything should be picking up. So that has a bearing on everything too. So a lot of logical numbers. So it's very important to think. So you need the way that you're going to go. So 5 for sure put in the reels. 5 of those points put in the reel. If you're going to be a bobber fisherman, then be thinking about the feeder rods. Okay, now but be careful about this because you're going to be going down into the carp rods after here. Now you got a carp rod now or a picker rod. So again, that's going to be 7 there, 7 there. So most people will change their points, do the reset once they start getting into carp fishing because the feeder rods are a little bit light for the carp. So you might want to go just put a few points in here or try not to put any points in the feeder rod until you get to carp, then sink your points in there. And pick your favorite rigs. And so there's so many ways you can go, guys, but just remember that once you hit that, bang, it's done. You can't reverse it. So you really got to be careful on what you're going to do, okay? Now, if you really want to make lures, it's a little expensive, but then again, the quality of spoons, again, this is more points, and this is extra stuff. So for me, because this is a crafting account, I'm going to dedicate my stuff into the way I like to fish, so it'll be spin fishing. I will probably put all my points for sure into the fishing rod, things that I like to do, and only fishing methods like that I really like. So fishing with spoons and spinners, not so much, but fishing with a Carolina rig or maybe jigging, wacky wig. I love this. Wacky fishing is great. So it's something to think about, okay? The method of fishing, and then making ground baits. As I said before, you have it picked here. Now, to reset again, you can pay. I don't know what it costs yet, but it says here feature once free of charge. I will look into it and see what it will cost because I'm unsure of what that is. Okay, and then you have your we want to go here. Yeah, then you have your cooking. So really decide which way you want to go, and if you don't put points, I'm going to see how far I can go before I put points. Okay, so that's the best thing I can tell you for today. It's very important to really think about. And if you have any questions, guys, I'm going to be putting Skillful's link on my description below as well. Some of these I know about the skills, or if you watch me on my Twitch channel, you can come into chat or go into my Discord, or I'm streaming daily. I got a daily Chronicle show, so at some point, or leave me a message, and if you have any questions, we'll be certainly glad to help. And of course, I'm on my Russian account, so I won't be able to send you materials or help you out, stuff like that. But some of my other fishing friends may be able to support you in some aspect. Otherwise, this account right now is only for my videos to help everyone learn how to use the skills. Okay, so I'll put everything in the description below, and look forward to chatting and see you guys. And please really be careful about which way you really want to go. So it's very important, especially to look at the cooking, because the other thing is they don't give you the recipes, and I'll be making a video on my next one to show you what you need for crafting and things to look forward to. Okay, so Chibrashka and I say goodbye for now. Sorry I made the video short as possible, but the skills is the hardest part of this game. Is, if you don't want to be spending money and redoing everything, you really need to understand what's most important for you in your fishing endeavors. Okay, so up to level 20 you have 19 points. 20 you should have 21. So if you put 5 in the reel, 5 in the rod, 3 in that, 2 in that, next thing you know, you got no points. So really got to think where you want to put them to have success. So goodbye for now until the next vid.